Let's go back to Zoom. Oh, where's Trevor gone?
No idea.
All
No idea where he
right.
is.
How are you anyway?
I'm not too bad, mate. Not too bad, yeah.
All right. Good to see you, my brother.
You too?
Good to see you. See what he's done. Who's Trevor? Okay. Oh, he's back. He is.
I had, hang on, what's happened there? I had to make an emergency call. Yeah, oh, damn it.
Oh, right. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Hang on,
All
I'm
right.
just coming.
So
It's not responding properly.
we can see
I've
you.
got- yeah,
We
I
can
can
see you
see
and we can
you.
hear you.
But
Yeah.
it's, that's better. Yeah, okay, good,
All right.
good.
So, yeah. So, opening remarks, please, bro. You can
Yeah,
do that for us.
welcome along to our weekly podcast, the Football Referee, where we discuss all things football. I'm Trevor Gear, and he calls me Bruv.
And I'm Hickins, and he calls me Cuz. Welcome to, and we've got Tony here. we,
Welcome, Tony.
Hi. Hi, everyone. Hi.
we've got we've got Tony. Is a Man United fan. So I think you're a bit outnumbered today, bro.
I was
It's
going to
okay.
say
I'm
I'm
always outnumbered.
outnumbered two to
Yeah,
one. That seems slightly unfair to me.
yeah, you're a bit outnumbered today. What's happening here?
Actually,
Come on
first time in
now.
my life where I'm not by myself defending
Come
United.
on. It's the first time. Right. Okay. So, yeah, I'm just looking at my notes here. Just bear with me a minute. Okay. So, Tottenham. Let's start with
Tottenham.
that.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So it
Okay.
says Spurs now have more ACL injuries than home wins in the Premier League this season.
Wow.
And they
What a
have
start.
they have four players down with ACL injuries. Kulusevski,
Hmm.
James Madison, Wilson Odobert, and Xavi Simons. Now, do we still think they will stay up? Who thinks they'll stay up?
After you, Tony.
Nah. I mean, don't get me wrong. At the end of the day, Spurs have their history and they've managed to somehow be classed as Big Six. To be fair, they've actually done better than Arsenal throughout their history. But in my personal opinion, this season, I can't really see them staying up, to be fair.
No, no.
Nah.
Okay. Over to you, bro.
Yeah, well, also this season, Tony and Cuz, and last season too, because although they did end up winning the Europa Cup,
Hmm.
they had a pretty lousy season otherwise. And just to drop in, as did another club, finished down there with them. Which, oh, what was that? Oh, that was Manchester United, wasn't it? That's right. Yeah. But no, they did have a pretty lousy season. And of course, this season it's been a very strange one with the managers. They took Thomas Frank, who I think is quite a good manager. He obviously was at Brentford, a smaller club, maybe didn't make the transition particularly well. And of course, we had Igor Tudor, a strange name, but didn't really work out for him at all.
No.
No
No.
Premier League experience. And of course, right at the end, sadly for him, I think his mother or father died. I think it was his mother. So that brought a sort of a sad ending to the whole business for him. And of course, they've got De Zerbi, who I think most people would say is a decent manager. I think he did okay at Brighton.
I
He
was gonna say
didn't.
he did really well at Brighton, not just well. He
He
got
did.
him. He got him
He
mostly a
did.
majority up to in like top 10
Yeah.
section in the Prem, which
He
is
was.
not an easy task to do alone. But for a keeper,
Yeah.
for our managers to come up from more or less to come in straight into Premier League and try bring Brighton to where were is actually
Yeah.
pretty good stat.
It was an
Mm,
achievement. Yeah, it really was.
mm,
Yeah, and I think
mm.
that's the thing that Spurs, he's come to them and in his favour, he can't fail in one sense because probably people almost expect them to go down, including the owners maybe. I don't know whether much of their problems stemmed from when they got rid of Daniel Levy, because he was a rock solid guy there, whether you liked him or not, for some years. And I think a lot of Tottenham fans take the view that his departure really unsettled the club. So that may have something to do with it. As to answer Cuz's question, do we think they're going down? It's a real hard one. Obviously, there's two clubs probably between them and West Ham. Arguably, I don't know who's got the easier run in. They both have got tough games there. My gut feeling is that West Ham will be safe, and that Tottenham, surprisingly, go down. I think since 1977, something like that, was the last time they went down. And there's no joy to be had when any big club or any club goes down. I know at Palace, I mean, the last time we got relegated from the Premier League was in 2005, and that sort of spoiled my summer. It did. Watching Sky Sports, it was always the league tables at the end of that season, right through the summer months, and you saw our team down there, and we only got relegated on the last day of that season. So I remember what it was like as a fan, and I see, at the end of the season, the relegated clubs, you see their fans looking pretty down in the mouth. Although, let's face it, Wolves and Burnley probably have got used to the idea that they were going down. But I don't wish relegation on either West Ham or Spurs, really. I just have a gut feeling it's going to be Spurs.
It'll be very close, in my opinion, especially like coming these last games now where every point is a way that could potentially keep you from going down. Because that West Ham and Spurs are literally, 1 point difference or a few points difference. It's not a lot to be, so it's going to be down to the wire, down to the goals, down to everything, more or less, at this rate. And it's kind of sad that the derby's come at more or less at the end of the season at this rate. If he came in earlier, not like he had a chance to, but if he did, Spurs will be in a different situation. I would definitely say that there would be a different situation. Definitely not in relegation.
But if you go back to Saturday or Sunday, when West Ham, when they played Everton, I mean, talk about the white knuckles of the fans. I mean, I think West Ham went ahead. They were at home, of course, in the 51st minute. Now, Everton equalised, I believe, in the 87th minute. So they couldn't really afford to have a draw. Otherwise, they would have gone back down into the relegation place. And then they actually won the game in the 92nd minute. So, as I say, the emotional seesaw of people in these end of season games is quite incredible. But I still think Spurs may go down, but I will have sympathy for what it's worth with the supporters of any club that goes down, because it's a horrible feeling. The Premier League is everything, isn't it? And if you're not there, you're a bit of an also-ran, and it's not always easy to get straight back up.
No, it's not easy. It's going to be a hard road to climb for them. Now, let's just go to Kobbie Mainoo. So Kobbie Mainoo has agreed to all terms of a new contract with Manchester United. So the agreement is going to be valid till June 2031, they say. Wow. Now, the question is divided into two. So, Kobbie Mainoo, England shirt, yes, no? We're all England fans here, yeah?
I would assume so. I mean, to be fair, when Kobbie wasn't playing for us against, what was it, Stamford Bridge, he wasn't playing with us. We did struggle in the midfield. I've always been a bit on the fence about Kobbie myself. But seeing how we were in Stamford Bridge without Kobbie surviving on Casemiro and Ugarte, it was definitely a tough. I mean, to be fair, all odds were against us regardless. Where we had no defense, midfield was only there with Casemiro, and we more or less just had forwards, wingers, and that's it. Hoping for the best, and Lamont in the back. It was definitely a tough one for us, 100%, and we thankfully came out with a better end of that deal. I mean, we can't say I've just done one match alone. It's definitely shown that the young ones could come and help us. I mean, it's not 100% like, oh yeah, this is it, Kobbie Mainoo.
Yeah.
He still needs a bit more experience. He's still young.
Yeah.
He does make mistakes. He should have got an assist, to be fair, on Monday. That's not on him, but I mean, he showed the grit. He tried to get that goal on Monday as well. So
Mm.
he's definitely something there for him,
Yeah.
especially in the long term for Cobby with the club if
Yeah.
he does stay on till 2030.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like there could be something.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Bruv, Cobby for England.
Yeah, I mean, he did play a few games for England, didn't he? And then
He
I
did.
don't know whether
Yeah.
it was down to Amarim, who perhaps
Under.
didn't fancy him, didn't play him too much.
Yeah.
But
Mm.
he did play for England, and I thought he looked a pretty sound sort of young guy. He knows his
Mm.
football, and I think probably when he was not playing for Man United under Amarim, he lost
Mm.
a lot of confidence. And once a player loses
Mm.
confidence, then you say, "How did they play for England?" And but when they get that confidence back, and now he's more in favour under Carrick, I think
Mm.
he is retrieving his confidence. They've given him a boost by saying, "Look, we'll give you a 5-year contract," which is a
Mm.
boost for any player. Let's face it. And I think he'll come good because I think he showed enough when he did play for England in a few games to say, yeah, he's a genuine potential international. So I
Mm.
would definitely go along with him.
Yeah. Okay. So if you was Thomas Tuchel, are you thinking Kobe Manu in my squad for the World Cup? Yes, no?
I'd say yes, definitely.
Yeah, you say yes. Tony?
Yep.
I'll say half and half. It's hard because there's a lot
Yeah.
of good strikers for England in general. I mean, Harry Kane alone. If you don't,
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, we've seen when England play without Harry Kane, it's a tough watch. Um,
Mm.
but he could be a good assister in my books. I would say he would be a good assister coming in the future. I wouldn't
Yeah.
say he's a natural goal scorer. I mean, he's scored some brilliant goals,
Yeah.
especially in the Europa League semi-final with up for us. He's got a right banger to help us come back. But yeah, it's definitely going to be a competition for him. It's not going to be easy.
Yeah.
It's not easy for any England player, first of all.
Mhm.
It's always going to be a tough one
Yeah.
to be the main goal scorer and to be the main star for England.
So
So
not now, but
at this
perhaps in the
moment, I wouldn't
future.
say that.
Not now. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I thought so. But you never know. You never know. Now, um, Harry Kane, because we just mentioned him, didn't we? Now, I was thinking about Harry Kane. He's in is the best contender for the Golden Boot.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Uh,
100% this season.
definitely.
yeah,
Definitely.
yeah. What hope does that give us for England? With Harry Kane in the attack, leading the attack. Does that give us much hope for, you know?
Well, yeah, let me come in there. I mean, we
Yeah,
must come on to, presumably, I'm sure you've got it on your schedule to talk
yeah,
about last night's game,
yeah,
PSG against Bayern. So we're
yeah.
talking about Harry Kane, and once again, you see his total quality. Playing as a centre forward, even in today's tough game, physically tough game, where
Mm,
very often your back is to the goal you're trying to score in. You've got defenders coming around you like wasps around a jam jar, and it's not the easiest position, put it that way, far from it.
no.
But somehow Harry Kane has got such quality, and he was exactly the same as
Mm,
Spurs, that he can conjure something. He'll conjure a great pass or a short pass. He's very good at the short pass to someone, to a colleague who's free there. And one of his passes last night to Diaz, which did result in a goal. I think initially it was VAR, but it was a goal. His pass was perfection. It was really a midfielder's pass, like Glenn Hoddle could sometimes do in the past, landing it on a sixpence sort of thing. But that pass, if you look at it again, was pure magic. As they say, it was a thing of beauty. It is able to measure the strength, the weighting of the ball, and the brilliance of Diaz to bring it down and control it, go to the side and smack it into the goal was
mm,
masterful. So Harry Kane is a must. I find it a little bit ironic that the last few games he played, the last couple of games he played for England, and I don't think he played much in the last international friendlies, but the ones before, he didn't seem
Mm,
to me to be up to his usual self, his usual quality. Whether he was a bit tired before they had their mid-season break, I don't know. But
mm,
that's a bit of an exception. I always enjoyed watching him for Spurs and certainly for Bayern. I mean, his record, I mean, he must be up for Ballon d'Or, mustn't he? He's got to be a real, he's going to win that, I would think. He's got 54 goals, maybe 56
Yeah, yeah.
this season. Just think about that. I mean, 54 goals just this season
si-
is phenomenal. And
64,
when you add Elise
64
to that
now.
on about
Wow.
Yeah.
54, yeah. You add Elise,
64.
he's got
64.
64.
Yeah.
64. All
Yeah.
right, then I misheard that. Yeah,
64.
because I
Yeah.
thought I heard 56 the other day. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
64. I mean, it's
64.
he's breaking all sorts of records. And I think I noticed this morning on Sky Sports that he's the first Englishman to score in consecutive 6 rounds of the Champions League. He's breaking records all over the place, both with
Mm,
Bayern and internationally and so on. And you'd have to say, had he have stayed in the Premier League, he probably would have beaten Alan Shearer's records of numbers of games and goals scored. He probably would, but of course now
mm,
that's unlikely because he probably whether he'll come back. I mean, he's only 32, which surprises me really. He's a
mm,
phenomenal player, and what a man to have as a captain of your country, because he's a wonderful role model for youngsters, for everybody. His sportsmanship, he's tough, he knows the game inside out, and he's got
mm.
so much awareness, so much ability as a footballer that it's brilliant to have somebody like that. And he could lead us, let's hope, to glory and win the World Cup.
That's all I want, Tony. Tony. Yes, Tony, please.
Uh, Same thing. I mean, you don't go from being the top scorer at Spurs, even though Spurs haven't really won anything when Harry Kane was there. You don't
Mm,
lose that class. I mean, Harry
mm,
Kane is a brilliant player, just in general. Like I said, he was top scorer. He even got the Golden Boot for Spurs at the
mm,
time there as well.
mm,
I mean, he's helping Bayern in many ways as well, especially this season. Uh,
mm,
Definitely a Ballon d'Or contender, considering that the Ballon d'Or now, apparently they say
mm,
it depends on how you do on big games. So if Bayern do get into the final and they
mm,
do win the Champions League or whoever, it will
mm.
definitely be on. I mean, regardless, he's in top 10 for Ballon d'Or
Yeah.
this season, anyways. I
Yeah.
mean, he's been
Yes.
brilliant all season as well. It doesn't matter. He's been brilliant since he joined Bayern in general.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
was he was always getting what 30, 40 goals in this past few is it 2 seasons now, 2 or 3 seasons for Bayern.
Mm,
So
mm.
it's I mean, it just shows class is there.
It
And
does, doesn't it?
unfortunately don't really make players like that anymore at all in this day and age. Which, to be fair, for any club he'll go to, having an experienced striker like Harry Kane is like a golden opportunity you can have for your own strikers. I mean, I know I would personally take Harry Kane at Manchester United in a heartbeat. Don't get me wrong, I love Sheshko, I love all our
Yeah.
strikers, but when you have an experienced striker like Harry Kane and you learn
Yeah.
you learn from him and get the experience,
Mm.
it's one of the things you want, really.
Yeah. Just having him in any team at all there,
Yeah.
you know. Anyway, we're going to come back to the Champions League yesterday because that's really exciting. We're going to come back to that in a minute. But um, bruv, Crystal
Yeah,
Palace,
yeah,
what's
Crystal
happening?
Palace.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because tomorrow night we've got we're playing Stratkar in
Right.
Poland, Krakow,
Right.
the first leg of the semi-final of the Conference League. So that's
Mm,
I was hoping to go, but things didn't work out so that I could. Obviously, our home leg is next week.
mm,
But yeah, doing okay. Disappointing. I went to Liverpool on Saturday in the glorious sunny weather. It was beautiful up there. And I
mm,
don't know whether you've been to Anfield. I mean, I've been there a few times, but the stadium is magnificent. I mean, I
mm.
think one of the big stand is one of the biggest in Europe, if not the biggest. But
All
it's a
right. Wow.
fabulous stadium, fabulous stadium. And
Mm,
yeah, although it's their song and not ours, you'll never walk alone.
Mm.
it's a very moving part of the afternoon when that record comes on, and all the Liverpool fans and a good number of us Palace fans as well singing, although we probably kept our mouths a little bit not so wide open. You don't want to be seen to be sort of doing that, but yeah,
Yeah.
it's a real moment of emotion when they sing that great song by Jerry Marsden. Yeah,
Mm.
so, but disappointing, the fact Palace lost. In the first half. We had the possession, more possession, and then twice before half time, we gave away sloppy goals, really, which were unfortunate. But yeah, overall, I thought Palace didn't do too badly. I think probably they're playing a bit with their minds on this game tomorrow. So he didn't start with the strongest team on Saturday. But
Mm.
yeah, our view is, as Palace fans, my view very much, if we can actually win a Conference League European Cup, it
Mm.
will be an incredible 12 months for us at Palace. I mean, yeah, Glasner kind of overspoke a bit early in the year, and there a bit of anti-sentiment going around. But I think Palace fans basically love him for what he
Mm.
did for our club since he came 2 years ago. Because we've
Mm.
won trophies, we count the Community Shield, obviously, but the FA Cup, for us to win that was
Definitely.
phenomenal. That the day at Wembley was just out of this world. And this cup run, I mean, this Conference League run, I mean, Palace actually, probably because they're in the Premier League, were the favourites to win this at the beginning. And we were going through a bit of a bad spell. And I thought, well, is that overstating it a bit? We did lose to Strasbourg, but
Mm.
otherwise we've qualified as we've gone through. And I think there's a pretty good chance that Palace could win it. I don't know who we'll meet in the final. It may well be Strasbourg again in Leipzig. But yeah,
Mm.
I've got a pretty good feeling Palace will get that. And if we do, that will be three serious trophies in the space of 12 months.
Yeah.
And Glasner will already, he's a bit of a legend in the annals of Palace history, and he will be even more so if he does that before he leaves. Final thought is, who are we going to get to succeed him? Palace have a bit of a tradition of leaving things to the last minute, whether it's the transfer windows or management. And people are pretty hopeful that the day after Glasner's gone at the end of the season, the new man is announced, because you need a new man in to
Mm.
look at the
You
squad
do.
for the next season. He may want certain players to come in and he may not want others, they may leave. But if it does go as people are fearing, we won't
Mm.
hear perhaps till sometime in late July. And obviously, we're all hoping that it's somebody we value. I think most people would take Thomas Frank. Everybody probably would take the Bournemouth manager, Areola,
Mm.
his name, but I don't think he would sidestep to Palace, to be fair to him. And I think he
Yeah.
may have other ideas in Europe. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting succession, because whoever does succeed Glasner is going to have a hell of an act to follow, really.
I mean, you've
And
already
yeah,
beaten Arsenal,
it's been
anyways.
brilliant.
You've
Pardon?
already beaten Arsenal in terms of trophies, anyways. You've won more trophies than they have in the last 6 years.
Yeah,
So.
absolutely. And the other thing about Sunday,
Yeah.
Palace have beaten Liverpool 3 times this season. First of
Yeah.
all was
Yeah.
the Community Shield, and then home and away. Well, no, one was the Carabao Cup, I think it was, and then at
Mm.
home we beat them at home a few weeks ago. So if we had have won on Sunday, it would have been 4, which would have been a bit of a record in itself. But so yeah, we've won 3, they've won 1. That was the way we tried to look at it. But
I've
yeah,
always seen you as Liverpool's kryptonite, regardless. I mean, every time you've gone against Liverpool, you've always come out the better side, regardless.
yeah,
Even
we
when you're more
tend
talented than
to,
everybody else, you've always
yeah,
managed to beat them. So,
which has been
Mm.
the least expected, really, because Liverpool generally are considered one of the best teams, which they are.
mm,
So for Palace, and yeah, we're a small team. We're a feeder club. We have to accept that as part of the deal of the Premier League. A lot of the clubs produce players. Who did we get from Reading? We got Elise, Michael Elise. Had him for
Mm.
a couple of years, I think for 6 months when Glasner was there, and we knew he'd go on and blossom into this world beater. He's one of the best wingers in the world, undoubtedly, Michael Elise. So we had to sell Mark Gay, brilliant footballer again, sadly missed, never really replaced. Eze,
Mm.
again, on his day, he's a great player. He got the cup final goal last year, but it is frustrating as fans when you're not at a club that is one of the top 6. you've really produced players for other teams. And we mentioned Brighton and De Zerbi, and that they've had to do the same. They've brought up and sold on lots of players, but they've managed to replace them with very good players, and produce the same sort of standards. So yeah, it's important to Palace fans, to all of us, that we get a decent manager. None I hadn't heard, and very few people had heard of Oliver Glasner when he came. So you sort of think, well, who is this guy? And it turns out he's got a great philosophy on football, very intelligent guy, and a very good bloke to talk to. I mean, outside the ground when we've been waiting to go in, he's come and we've spoken to him a few times. He just is the friendliest man, down to earth, and it's sad that he's going, but generally, he's only stayed 2 years at clubs. I think at Frankfurt he was there for 4, but he's mostly 2 years, so it's not unexpected that he wants another challenge. But yeah, he'll be sorely missed.
Well,
Yeah.
we was on what was it? We was in talks apparently to getting Glasner for Man United as well.
Oh,
Really?
really?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I think it was still at the time because he was I mean, you're still playing the 3-4-3 formation, and obviously Amorim was doing that. So when we got rid of Amorim, there were talks of Glasner coming to us.
Yeah.
So
All right.
there's a lot of managers right now that I have no idea who we're gonna get. I have one in my sights who I personally would love to come, Luis Enrique.
Right.
I mean,
Okay.
he's shown what he can do with PSG alone. He almost won the quintuple with them. He got unlucky with Chelsea, to be fair, in the FIFA World Cup club. And yeah, apparently there was like an interview said that if you were when they were talking, I don't know if it's 100% true or not, but they were saying would you want the Man United job? And he said, if I do come and I do my style, a lot of the players will like it. And I understand where he's coming from with just in Man United in general, we have a very big ego problem. And obviously, Luis Enrique doesn't take egos just like that. He wants to, well, he wants you to be good, but he needs to bring that ego down in order for you to come up and prove that ego.
Yeah.
Like I said, I would love for him to come, but like I said, I know of some of the players that we have are not gonna like it in general.
Yeah. But then
Is there
another
no
thing
chance?
yeah, go on.
Sorry, just a quick question. Is there no chance you think that Carrick could get the job?
Well, initially, when it was coming down to interim, it was between Ole and Carrick. Ole, the only reason why he didn't get it is because when it said, "Oh, if I do get them to Champions League, if I get United to Champions, I want the job at the end." And Carrick knew that he's saying, "I'll get you to Champions League, and then whatever you do after that is up to you." That's why they picked Carrick, because they didn't want Ole to be the manager afterwards. So, this whole Man United DNA thing, I don't know. I feel like we're just getting lucky at this point. We didn't sign anyone during the summer transfer window, and we're just scraping through. We need don't get me wrong, Carrick has done well with us, to be fair. Yeah, again, it was really down to Amorim's recruitment that helped us in that situation with the players that we've got now, like Cunha, Mbomo, Le Mans, Dog, all these players. Without them, we wouldn't really be in the situation where we are now, especially in the top four. But I wouldn't really give him the job, especially after we saw how we were with Brentford. We were really good in the first half, but realistically, Thiago should have got a hat trick. Our defense was just open up wide.
Right.
There was only Harry Maguire and I think Aiden Heaven at the back. Everybody else was either grouped up, push forward, and our defense was just wide open. So, knowing in Luis Enriquez, he's about all the defense and midfield. He keeps it all tight packed. So, I would rather have Enrique than Carrick in a sense. Yeah.
All right. Oh, okay. I thought that was a quite an in-depth analysis of right. So Luis Enrique, this is what he has to say. He said, "There's no team that is better than us. I already said this after losing top 8. These are the 2 best teams in Europe. Even if Arsenal also had a great season in terms of consistency, Bayern is a bit ahead of us because they only lost 2 matches." Now, He's saying there's no team that is better than PSG. Is that a fact from what we've seen? Is that?
I
I mean, got after you, Tony.
no,
After
no,
you.
you go, you go.
Well, I was only going to say, I think again, thinking of last night and that we've seen them in the previous rounds as well, I would say PSG are up there with the top teams in the world. I mean, traditionally,
Mm,
it's kind of Real Madrid and Barcelona, and I'm not saying
mm,
they're not up there, but I think at the moment, I think I would probably say that PSG are pretty much the best team in the world. They and Bayern. Now, how that
mm,
compares with some South American teams, I don't know enough about what the teams there are like, but
mm,
certainly as far as we're concerned, I would say PSG are definitely up there. They've got the
mm,
class, and although they're only one goal ahead, like a 1-0 after 5-4 last night,
mm,
that could well be enough to see them through. I'd be surprised actually if Bayern can overcome that. We may see a very
mm,
different type of game, although the pundits seem to say it'll be the same kind of open game, going for each other's throats. And if so, that's great because what a game it was to watch. But I think it will be a bit tighter because
mm,
it is the real game. Last night it was only up to half time, wasn't it? So, yeah, it'll be a great one to watch next week. But I think
mm.
PSG are definitely up there, closely followed by Bayern Munich.
Hmm.
Right. Okay. Yeah, Tony.
Same thought. I mean, best team tell in this current moment, definitely. For years, the best team in the world. Still, I mean, in my biased opinion, it is Real Madrid still. Uh, I mean, 15 Champions Leagues. They've won it many times. They've even won it back to back many times. But in this current moment, they are the best team in the world. I've always said whoever comes out of this fixture between PSG and Bayern will win the Champions League
Mm.
because, in my honest opinion, I don't see Atletico Madrid winning it, and I don't see Arsenal winning it either. So I always see whoever beats each other now are definitely going to be the
Mm.
champions of the Champions League, 100%.
Mm,
Because they're
mm,
both good
Mm.
teams, very good teams. Bayern have a good record themselves. They've won it 6 times. PSG have a very good squad and they're very disciplined. Like I said, Luis Enrique keeps his squad like an army, more or less. They're all very disciplined and they
Mm.
all know their roles. And if it's very hard to break down Luis Enrique,
mm,
his tactics and everything. That's why when it came to last night, it was literally two great teams going at each other. So it was always going to be a great fixture
Mm.
regardless. So like I said,
mm,
whoever wins that fixture at the end is definitely
mm,
the champion.
Yeah.
mm. Okay. Now here's another quote from Luis Enrique. Not that we're um, monopolizing him, but I'm just confused about what he said here. So this is a quote from after the match last night. So he said we deserved to win, to draw, and even to lose this game. What is he saying there? It's a bit, bruv.
And he just had a drink. Well, it sounds a bit of a strange quote. I'm
He
assuming you've
does,
read the
doesn't
quote.
it?
You've read the quote correctly,
I
but
have. I have.
yeah, I'm not. So can you repeat it? Just say it once more in case I
So,
misheard what you said.
so he's saying we deserved to win, comma, to draw, and even to lose this game. So it's a bit of a strange one, isn't it? What is he
I
saying? Yeah.
kind of understand what he's talking about.
Okay.
Uh, Even like TT was saying last night,
Hmm.
it's from a defensive standpoint terrible. It was like you have a goal, you have a goal, you have a goal.
Ah,
In that
ah,
type of situation, it's not
yeah.
really good for either team. It's showing that you're both defensively not capable,
Right.
which we both know is not really true. They both have good defenses. So what happened last
Right.
night was purely down to who knows really. So
Yeah.
that's why I understand why he says we deserve to lose, we deserve to draw, and we deserve to win because
Yeah.
it was action both sides. It was box to box,
Mm.
but
Yeah.
it was I understand where he's coming from in a sense.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
mean,
again,
it's interesting
yeah.
because
Go on,
sorry,
sorry.
because Harry Kane gave quite interesting quotes afterwards. He said that these two teams are very high quality teams. Have got world class defenders, world class attackers, and on the night the attackers won, if you like, won the battle, defence and attack. I mean, the thing is, what somebody else was saying, that in the Premier League the last couple of years, we've all kind of, or there's been a lot of talk about it becoming a bit boring. It's become a bit of a set piece league, you know, it's all the set piece coaches and so on, and the throw ons, the throw in, you know, the long throwing is back. And it's great. I mean, I go to football every week and I love it. I love the atmosphere and all that goes with it. But there are times, even watching it on TV as well, that with all this horseshoe passing along the back and it's all a bit slow and methodical, or any of the teams, but you know, it just is a feature. And when you see a game where the players are unleashed, like last night, I think it actually says something about the philosophy of the manager. There's often a debate, isn't there? We've had it ourselves about the effects, beneficial or otherwise, of a manager. Just what impact does a manager or can a manager have on his team? Now, it depends on the manager. We all know Alex Ferguson, probably the best example of the best manager for many years, certainly in the Premier League. And his regime, you believe, it seems, was one of almost fear. I mean, he kicked the cups around in the dressing room, or so it said, and you know, probably put the hairdryer on the players with all those expressions. So he did rule by fear. Whether a manager nowadays could do that quite so much, I don't know, because players in a way have all the power. But a manager clearly is very important. They will say, well, once the players go over the white line, there's nothing I can do. But I don't always agree with that. You can see Arteta, for example. I think he's got tougher and tougher with his players. Perhaps some of his previous strategies haven't always worked out, where they do tend to fade after Christmas and so on. And that could still happen in this season. They could end up with nothing again. So I think he's commanding his players much tighter, giving them more limited roles. Whereas, as I say, we saw last night, players are told almost, go out and enjoy yourselves. You're good players. I have every faith in you. And personally, to come back to the defence, perhaps not being as good as the attack, I think it was simply a case you've got two top class teams, top class players throughout the team. And on the day, both believed in themselves. They have a lot of self confidence. We are the best. And they believed whatever the opposition did, they will go one better. And it was a very unusual. I mean, some have called it the game of the century so far. It was phenomenal to watch. And you think, well, wouldn't it be great to watch football like that every week in the Premier League? And to be fair, there is some good football there. But I think the manager has a much more pivotal role on what we see on the pitch. Because the players are limited really and restricted by what they can do under very strict instructions. When they go in at half time, they will have the a cup, perhaps not physically, but they will have something thrown at them, perhaps almost in the in the words, for not doing something that they were told to do. So I think there's a bit of fear still creeping in, and you see that quite a lot. So yes, yesterday was refreshing. It was brilliant to watch it. The atmosphere there must have been fantastic, and it shows you what the game of football can be. So I think managers are very, very important to how we see what we see.
And just to conclude this section or this segment, let's just see what Vincent Company has to say about the return leg. So this is Vincent Company. Says next week it will be a similar game. PSG simply won't accept doing things differently, and neither will we. That's how both teams are. I just hope it's us that win. Um, so we're in for another thriller.
Yeah,
90 minutes
absolutely.
thriller again. Yeah. It shall be interesting to watch. So this is all we've got time for on this segment. So we're gonna go into the next segment, Tony, which is another 40 minutes long. Do you want to conclude for us, bruv?
Yeah, okay. Well, this is the end of our first session, and we've covered a few things more to cover, though. So join us again straight away. I'm Trevor Gear, and he calls me Bruv.
And I'm Emmy Hickins, and he calls me cousin. We've got Tony the Enforcer here.
I like that.
Right, so stop the recording. And so I'll go back to the live stream and end it and then start a new one.